Hi, Fashion Dolls. Did y'all miss me? Happy Friday, September 26th, and welcome to an all new episode of Style by Stevie. My very special guest today joining me in the dollhouse. Are y'all ready, Fashion Dolls? He is an actor. Eric Andrews is joining me here in the dollhouse today, Fashion Dolls, and I'm super excited to have him here. So, without further ado, let's welcome to the dollhouse my very, very special guest, Eric Andrews. And I'm going to have to search. This is the new thing where we have to search. Hopefully it works. Hopefully it and let me share this live so that we can get him in here. Boop. There we are. And he should be coming in, joining me. So I didn't do a show yesterday. I took a break, but make sure y'all go and check out the interview that I did with Brittany Manyweather. It was a great conversation, and I hope you all enjoyed that. But we have more shows coming out as well too, so make sure you guys stay tuned. We have more amazing guests leading into my birthday month. Me and my mom's birthday month. We share a birthday in October. Hers is the 7th. Mine is Halloween, the 31st. So make sure that y'all are staying tuned because I can't wait. I'm already picking out my costume and everything. I'm super excited. I can't wait. It's my 32nd birthday. So let me try to send it to him again so that we can get here. And I can add him to the live. There we go. Hopefully it works this time. Hopefully. While I'm waiting on my very special guest, we're seeing a weather shift as well too. So make sure that y'all are just according to the weather. New York Fashion Week is going on, and there are so many shows and events. So make sure that you all are staying in tune and in the know on what's going on with fashion because the weather has been shifting. We're going to get some crazy weather these next few days. So with everything being in the fall months, so make sure y'all stay tuned for that. Oh, there we are. He's here. So without further ado, let's welcome my very special guest fashion dolls to the dollhouse, Eric Andrews. Okay. Boop. There we are.
Hi, Miss Stevie.
Oh,
How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you? Welcome to the dollhouse.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
It is such a pleasure to have you here. So before we kick off this interview, how has 2025 been for you thus far?
Gosh, 2025. It's been a bit of a roller coaster, to be honest. Uh, but I do see positives in that because I feel like this year I've kind of been forced into some corners that have caused me to think outside of my normal boxes about how to, you know, get by and get along. So challenging. That's how 2025 has been. Yeah.
I totally get it. My guest that I had on this week, Brittany Manyweather, When we did our girl talk, for I think it was Wednesday. Wednesday we did our girl talk, the 24th. 24th. Yes, the 24th. Let me see. Today is the 26th. The 24th was Wednesday. It was when we did our girl talk. And she was saying the same thing, that it's been obstacles that we've been having to go through. It seemed like an emotional roller coaster for all of us, the ups and downs, the in and outs of having to navigate with everything that is going on. It is a shift. So I definitely get that. So it's great that you are getting by and managing ahead. We're all having to navigate as creatives, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But let's start at the beginning of your journey. You are from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So tell us about your journey growing up as a young actor.
Oh wow. So I've been here, I don't know, probably a decade in Atlanta, but I am from Fort Lauderdale. I went to a performing arts high school. I think it was the only school with a magnet program in for the arts, specifically theater and musical theater in Broward County. I was there kind of as they were getting an increase in funding. So I was there when they built this new theater. I think this is like a $2 million theater that's there now. Um, it was fun. I really started. Hmm, I really started my practice, I guess, not my interest in acting and theater and the arts in middle school, and Uh, and my first show was The Wizard of Oz. I wanted to be the Scarecrow, but I was cast as Dorothy's uncle. Um, so that was cool. Um, but that let me know the feeling I got from that and the community that I got from those other actors really kind of let me know that, you know what, I think I want to do this. I think this is something that I need to have incorporated in my life. I don't know that I was fleshing it out that well at that age, but that's where the people were that I loved. That's where the people were that I talked to after school. Like I was also in a gifted program, and so I had a lot of classmates, that I liked in those classes, but it wasn't as fun as it didn't feel like it felt like work, right? All the math, science, it felt like work, and I actually love math and science now. Hated them in school, was great at them, just didn't like them. But the people in theater, I was like, this is my tribe. Like, a little weird, interested in stuff that was definitely considered weird at the time. I think musical theater and theater in general is kind of popular now and not like we didn't have movies back then. I think back then the movie was Rent, but now we have what is it, Wicked Part Two coming out.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's a little more commercialized, at least in my purview, than it was at the time. And so I kind of was in like two niche spaces, like the highly gifted space, blah blah blah, but then like the artistic, creative space, because I'm really a goofball, and I really love music, and I really like get emotional when there's like a good performance. Um, and I just really had fun. I really love the people. I really love my instructors. Those are the instructors whose names I still remember are my theater teacher and my stagecraft teacher and my ballet teacher and my modern and tap teacher. So yeah, I went to high school, and then I kind of was doing art, um, like drawing, which I'm also really good at. I just don't care about it as much, but it's just another skill that God happened to give to me that I'm thankful for, that I can draw on if and when I need it. But so I wound up doing that and theater for a while, and then that kind of tapered off, and I really went full throttle into theater with like supportive dance classes. Now, y'all, I am not a dancer, but just assistance with moving on stage. Um, So yeah, it was really from there. I went to Nova Southeastern University for musical theater as well. And really, it was a minor. I was majoring in business administration and management, which I felt like I needed to do to be successful. And I don't even know that has been the case, or that degree has mattered in my life. But yeah, so that's how I got started. Um, and I got better. I was all right, and I got better. Yeah.
And you have background in film and theater. So which do you prefer the most?
Oh, theater. Yeah,
That live
theater for sure.
experience.
Like you, and I don't want to say like hiding behind the character, but you really get to fully put on a character in theater. And I don't like people all in my face. So there's not a camera right here in theater. They're not concerned about my pores or my small eyes or whatever it is. Theater, I feel comfortable. I don't think I've ever felt nervous on stage. I've always felt nervous, even to almost a crippling degree sometimes. In auditions, when it's just me and this panel and this spotlight and a quiet room that I need to fill with my voice. But on stage with a crowd of people, like I'm having fun. I am into my character. I am free in a way that I don't feel like I allow myself to be on
Yeah.
camera. Because it doesn't feel as natural. It doesn't feel as organic. And it's really not. You're going to repeat the same. I mean, rehearsal is repeating over and over anyway, but in film, you're going to repeat it until you get it right that day. Whereas in theater, it's easier to let go because I have to, because whatever line I just said or whatever line I just flubbed up is already over and we're moving along and the audience is moving along with me. So yeah, theater for sure.
And about that bringing the character to life, the aspect of feeling alive. It is such a different feeling when you're on stage live in front of the audience. How we're live right now, how this interview is live, and how viewers are going to go back and watch us both. That experience of being able to capture it in real time, where now us, the audience members, the consumers, the viewers, we can actually interact with the actors on stage. And that is the fun part. Like we're already foreshadowing what's going to happen in the film as well too, or what's going to happen in real time. So that feeling, I totally agree with that feeling of it being real in real time, just as the same as if it's a film. That feeling of bringing it to
And there's
life,
like an energetic
fresh
feedback
face.
loop
Yeah.
kind of,
Go.
because
Sorry.
you're energized by the audience and the audience is energized by you. Um, and that's just something you don't get the same on film, and it makes a huge difference. I remember I was at Beyonce's Renaissance tour, and I think she said something to the effect of, "I need y'all's energy," and I was like, first of all, I already love Beyonce. I'm not gonna fight nobody over it, but I already love Beyonce. But when she said that, I was like, I get it. You are a real person. Like you're gorgeous and beautiful and talented and rich and all of that stuff. But you really are right now a woman on a packed stage that needs and enjoys and seeks the energy from the audience. And like I said, it's a loop. You're not just receiving; you're giving back at the same time. So I just kind of love that dialogue almost.
Absolutely. And you feed off of the audience's energy in real time. Like when my viewers come in to watch any one of my interviews, I feed off of their energy. We feed off of each other's energy together, and the guests vice versa. So everyone is conversating amongst themselves. They're tagging each other in the chat, even though this is virtual. But in real time, that same feeling would happen because I know a lot of my audience members will ask, when are you going to do the shows in person, because we want that same feeling again. That
Mm.
human connection is what I think is missing, and what a lot of people want and feel, and what she wanted in her show. She wanted to have that connection, that bond with you.
Yeah.
um, uh, you mentioned that Beyonce. We can't mention Beyonce without mentioning Diana Ross, and I'm a big Diana Ross fan. And I was watching one of her concerts, and she's Diana Ross. She's Miss Ross, the boss.
Mhm.
So she had her security guard over here, and she's stepping off stage. You know how singers will go in the audience and will touch the audience members or their fans' hands. She was giving hugs. She was embracing her fans who came
Mhm.
to see her. And I think it was in uh, I can't remember, Japan. It was someplace she was giving a concert. And she stopped the security guard. She said, no, no, no. I want to be able to feel my audience's energy. I want to be able to connect with them. And they respected her. She respected them. Showed her so much love, and she showed it right back to him. So that is what I think a lot of people are wanting in these times dire to when it pertains to live shows, is that connection, to be able to connect with the creator. And it's a quote from Nina Simone that goes like this, that I live by, which is a mantra: an artist's job is to reflect the times, and not only just reflect the times, but also to have that connection with their fans. Because you can put on a song, or you can watch a show in real time, or theater like how you're doing it, and have that experience, and the audience can come up to you and say, at the end of the show now, they'll say, wow, you did an outstanding job. You captured the essence of this character. You embodied the essence of this character. They can either love your character or hate your character. They will
Mhm.
let you know honestly,
Yeah,
because they are
yeah, they will.
consumed. They love your work. So it's the best feeling of being able to connect with your audience members. And that was another question I wanted to ask you as well too. What is it that brings you alive when you're on stage? Because I know we all get nervous. Like, I have done big interviews, and I have been nervous the day of the interview that's going to happen. And I don't know what just takes over me. It's like when a superhero just puts on their cape, they
Yep.
come to life. And that's how I feel. I always say a prayer or a mantra, or I try to calm my nerves and have some sort of candle lit before I come on to relax me before doing the interview or doing the show. And you can't tell it. Nobody can tell that I'm nervous, but I
Yeah.
am on the inside. I'm
Hmm.
dying inside. And I've done some big interviews here on this platform.
Yeah, I
And the
see.
artists will be like, stop exaggerating. You did great. You did great. So
Hmm.
stop over exaggerating and overthinking yourself. But that feeling of going on stage, what is it that gives you that rush to create, to inspire as an actor live on stage?
So yes, what you just said about them saying, "Hey, you're great."
Yeah.
I've been really working, I would say, the last 2 years to really be able to accept that as truth when people say that to me. Because I don't know what it is. There's just this nagging part about like people are complimenting me too much. Y'all are trying to blow up my head, or y'all feel like I need that affirmation. And you know what? Needing affirmation is fine. I do need affirmation. Sorry about the weather if you could hear that. It's storming outside. Um, but, and also, I think that without getting too specific, in times like this, um, that live audience and that live connection with real humans um, goes up in value at times like this when folks are so divided and segmented. But what does it for me? I think the same thing, like you said, there's kind of just a switch. But I've thought about this switch, and even in the context of what I was saying earlier about, kind of that freedom. I think it's my inner child. I think it's the inner child
Oh, yeah.
that
Yeah.
activates because that inner child, like I said, if you say whatever word you just said, that's already over 5 seconds ago. You have to keep going. So there's no hanging on to, oh, I hope I didn't mess this up or whatever, has very little value or utility to you. And your inner child, I believe, knows that and feels safe enough in those moments to be like, all right, I got it. I'll take over. That inner child who hasn't learned to be afraid of everything or nervous of this or insecure, um, just kind of takes over and has the fun, but also um, your skill set, your practice, your rehearsal, that muscle memory takes over, and you know that in union with your inner child, I believe, is what allows me to go there when I go there. I if I might be nervous backstage. And like I said, I'm definitely nervous in not interview, well, maybe a little bit, in auditions. But it's something about once I step out there that is different, markedly different. I pondered on this for a while, and that's kind of the best thing that I've come up with to attribute that switch, that activation to. So yeah, little Eric in there, he pop out. You know.
Yes. And we have to find that safe space for us to go to when we're going, before we go out on stage. We tap into that. And it can be scary, it can be uncomfortable, and it can be nerve-wracking for us.
And
At the same time, I've done interviews as well too. And I remember going on the platform, shout outs to Marcos Luis. And Marcos made me so comfortable when we did our interview together because I've interviewed him. This was a few weeks prior to him asking me to come on his platform. And I was nervous going into there, and he was like, "Well, we had a brief conversation before we started the interview because we did it on another platform." And I was going into his house. And just how guests come into my space, I try to make it as comfortable for them as possible so they don't have to be nervous or scared. Because I know what it's like to have the shoe on the other foot, which will happen in this interview because Eric is going to get a chance to ask me some questions in my Turn the Tables segment. For my new viewers out here, you'll get to know a little bit about me through Eric's questions. So yes, that's what I do to sort of break the ice. And that's what you have to do with your audience before going on stage, to anybody that has those butterflies in their stomachs or just, a nervous feeling. When you're out and you're creating and you're doing it, you come out of your shell. As you stated earlier, you come alive. And for me doing Style by Stevie every day, Monday through Friday, I come alive just from the grace of my audience and their strength. And the nerves just go away. Yes, I'm nervous before doing it. I can remember doing the interview not too long ago. I want to say back in August with B Slade. Uh, and B Slade is big. That was a big interview.
yeah,
And we clicked instant chemistry. Instant chemistry. That interview was up. You guys can go and check it out.
and well,
And the nerves just went away talking to him. He was so laid back, and I just let him take over. I said, "You got it. You." When my guests come in, this is my thing, and I say this all the time. When they come here to my place, and we're in this spaceship together, I let them take that pilot seat, and I sit in the passenger seat, and we bounce back and forth, vice versa. Yes, I'm the hostess, but when my guests are on, they are the pilot because they are telling their stories. Yes, I'm the pilot. I'm the head pilot because I created the show as my show. But when my guests come on, they are in that driver's seat. I get in the passenger side. So we rotate back and forth, driver seat, driver seat, passenger seat. And I do that because I want their stories to be told and I'm not going to overshadow them. And he said in that interview that I did with B Slade, he said, most people wouldn't allow me to come on and talk and share my story. I said, you go, you got the floor, you go. This is your story. And then I will chime in and give bits and pieces of myself as well too. And that is a great way to make yourself, if you are an actor, to make the character relatable to people in some sort of way. Make it original. Authenticity is key. And he also said something about authenticity. Like he dropped so much knowledge in that interview.
he had
So
to.
y'all go and check out the interview that I did with B Slade. It was an amazing conversation and I was just enamored. Like he was so mesmerizing. Like he had an aura, like it's, oh, and I
Yeah,
felt it through the screen. I'm pretty sure everybody felt both of our auras together in that interview, intertwined. And I think that made a great conversation. I think it was over 2 hours. It was a 2 hour conversation. So
so
yeah,
that's
most of my
great.
conversations go over.
Great to have a good someone good on the other side, a good playing mate.
Yeah.
But you have, like I said, that you've done what, close to 700 interviews that I've seen that I know on your YouTube, and maybe more than that. So you have that skill set. So though that muscle memory is going to kick in anyway. But your ritual is nothing to sneeze at either. Like you have, you try to have your candle lit, and just your I'm getting into this mode ritual, whatever that is. I think has great value too. That signals to your body, okay, we're going here. That signals like it's okay to leave all of these other things right now, because right now I'm stepping into this hat. But be late, which is like itself. I will definitely check that out.
Yes, and it's this would make interview 877, y'all. So we are well off. My brother K Tukes, shout outs to my brother K Tukes. He is close to 1,000 interviews and videos because he does a lot of album reviews. He's way ahead of me. And I say for me, slow and steady wins the race. There is no competition. Like there's enough room for each and every one of us to shine. And the way he hosts his platform is different than the way I would host my platforms. Like K2 spot is more so different than mine's. Mine's is more so different in the aspect of I use glamour, I use fashion, and I combine it all together. And I make it fun. It's hip, it's revolutionary, it's different. And it's not like other talk shows. So I don't want to be like any other host of a platform, but people try to pit us against each other and it's not
Mhm.
working because he's coming on my show for season 20. We have a 20th season that will be coming in 2026. And I'm super excited. And I would love to bring you back on, of course. But what's so different about each host, each star of their show, each star of screen, music, is that our stage presence can relate to the audience as well too. And if you have great stage presence and that will draw the audience in, like I can give you an example. I'm a big Michael Jackson fan. Love
Mhm.
Michael Jackson. Rest in peace to the King of Pop.
Yeah.
Uh, I've watched some of his performances, like going back in time, watching his old performances and stuff. And Michael knew how to command a stage. If
Talk about
Michael, you
patience.
mentioned Beyonce.
Yeah.
Beyonce knows how to command a stage and a room. Cardi B does as well too. All of these artists, these big artists that we see today, Mariah Carey's another one. Stage presence is key, and that's what will draw the audience to be like, what is it about this singer? What is it about this artist? Prince, the late Prince. I'm a big Prince fan as well too. Prince had mystery. He had something that people just could not put their finger on. It's just like, what is it about him? Like, it's something that makes this food taste so good. And we don't know the ingredient in it. You keep asking, what is the ingredient? What is it? What is it? Why does it taste so good? Prince is that ingredient. You just
Mhm.
can't put your finger on it. He had a stage presence that commanded every room that he opened up in. And he was so sultry, mysterious. He was sexy with it. And he had a type of energy that people just could not figure out. Like he was not a person that liked to take pictures. Prince was not a picture person at all. And I remember I had the pleasure of sitting down with Ron Katz Spearman, who's worked alongside Prince. And he was sharing Prince stories with me. And the same thing that I'm telling y'all, which is Prince had that mystery, that aura that people would just try to figure out, like, what is it about him that made him so dynamic? And I think I know what it is. He stayed in his own lane. And
Mm.
that's what I'm telling everybody as an artist, as an actor, as an innovator, is that you have to find your lane of what works for you. Find your ritual. Everybody has their ritual before they go out on stage. And again, to mention, well, to piggyback off of what Eric said about Beyonce, and when she comes out there, she's gonna give you at least a 3 hour show. Queen Bee is
Yeah.
gonna do it, and she's gonna do it in heels. And I
Mhm.
mean, and the you've mentioned Renaissance. She came in on the horse, flying over our heads,
Mhm.
and then Cowboy Carter. She gave us something a little bit different. So I mean, every concert that she's done, whether it's the On the Run tour or the Beyonce Experience tour for B Day, she's going to give you something different above and beyond. Every artist is. The same for Janet. one of my favorite Janet Jackson tours is the Velvet Rope tour because I am a very sexual woman and I have no problem with exploring my sensuality. But that is one of my favorite Janet tours because she
Yeah,
taught me how, and I would have been very young watching that tour, but I watched
yeah.
it when I got into my teen years, well off into my teen years. I didn't really know at the time what she was singing about, but now I'm old enough and I get it. So, but I
I
can say
agree.
for Janet as well too, she knew how to keep an audience engaged and entertained, whether it's the interludes in her show, because every artist does an intermission and interlude. Like Beyonce, she has Blue Ivy come out and will do a dance segment and routine or walk. And that's another thing. Artistry, what makes a great artist is that you study the artist that came before you. And I can
Mm.
tell you
She
that
was
Blue
for sure.
Ivy studied her mother from the walk, because Beyonce has certain like a model would walk, like Naomi Campbell, like a model would walk. She's got the walk down pat because Beyonce, Janet does it as well too. That dance walk where they walk out on stage and then they just start dancing, and the dancers behind them all in sequence. It works perfectly. She studied her mother, and in order
Yeah.
to have great artistry and craft, you have to study the greats that came before you. And for me, the ones that came before me doing this, I would have to say would be Connie Fleming, Laverne Cox, T.S. Madison. Uh, who's another one? Tracy Norman Africa. So many other Black trans women that have came before me that are hosting their platforms, that are doing their thing. And shout outs to my girl Hope Giselle. All of them are doing their thing equally. And they paved the way so that you guys could have a Miss Stevie. They crawled literally so that I could walk. Because there wasn't that very many few Black women in daytime, or just Black trans women, especially in media. So I'm one of the few, but I'm not on a level like a T.S. Madison. I love Madison. But she paved the way, and I'm always going to give her her flowers, because one thing she said in one of her interviews not too long ago was she said, never let anybody dim your light. When you come in there, let them know you're in the room. And especially in a time where they want to erase all of us and eradicate us as Black artists and innovators. And it's important that we speak up and we continue to let our voices, and platforms like this, let our voices be heard. Never let them dim your light. To anybody who feels like, I'm nervous, I don't know what to do, use your creativity. Your creativity can help you a long way. There is power in music, there is power in art, and life imitates art. So I want you all to know that. To anybody out there who's feeling discouraged in this time on what can I do with my creativity, write, produce, direct, get out there and put yourself out there and let everybody know what you do, because you never know. The opportunities are endless. I didn't think I was going to get that interview with B. Slade. I'm like, he's so big. He's worked with Patti LaBelle, Shaka Khan as Janet Jackson, and so
Uh,
many others. Uh, and I'm sitting here with an icon literally in real time who's worked with other icons. And I'm just like, wow, God, this is a sign right here.
you were
Something
supposed
great
to.
extra is coming. And shout outs to Norman, his publicist, who set up that whole conversation. We have been talking prior to, and I didn't drop the news until that Friday. I always drop my lineups of who's coming on the show Friday. So y'all already know who's coming on uh, next week, and that's Phil Elam and Nicholas Barnes. So that'll be closing out going into Scorpio season, because my birthday's on Halloween. My mom's is on the 7th, the first of that week. So I'm excited. I'm excited. But
Hey, well,
the
happy
B
early
Slade,
birthday.
thank
I
you.
will be at the Boys Mind tour that night. Um, is their Atlanta show. Um, but I wanted to say, I that's thank you for giving me that little nugget that Prince didn't like taking pictures, because neither do I. Like I take a lot of pictures, but like I said, I really would prefer just not to have a camera all over my face.
I You know who said it? Who said it on her show? It was Sherry Shepherd.
Okay.
Because remember when she was on The View and Prince came and it was a frenzy. Like I mean, he's Prince was sexy. He was a good looking man. We are not going to deny that. And Sherry was touching on his arm and everything. And he like Aaliyah. I love Aaliyah.
Hmm.
Aaliyah wore glasses, Prince wore glasses, and it's just like I need to look in your eyes. But I'm like, you never look Beyonce and Prince in the eyes, or Erica Badu for that nature, because it's something magnetizing that they
Yeah.
do. You even Michelle Obama say, don't look Beyonce in the eyes, because you know she gave you that look when she said, "You are the visual baby," and that was at one of her Renaissances tour. I said, uh-huh. Y'all kept asking this woman for visuals, and she looked you dead in the eye, and they melted. You melt like she spoke to me. She looked at me. That's the type of feeling that Prince gives you. You turn into like a little kid going to school all over again. And Sherry said she tried to get a picture of Prince, and Prince said, it's out there somewhere in the YouTube verse. Y'all go and look it up. He was not a photogenic person, but if you go back and you look at some of the photos that he managed to get taken for albums, for whatever it may
Hmm.
be,
You look
beautiful.
up every now and then.
Yeah.
You so you spoke about using your creativity
Yes.
and your stage presence. Your stage presence is something very unique to you. And
Hmm.
you also talked about staying in your lane or being in your lane, back to you and Prince. I think using your creativity helps you find your lane. And that stage presence or whatever presence that is unique about you helps you find your tribe, like I found, in school so early. And that helps you build your base, and that says who's coming to the next show, to the next stream. And you have built these people who love you specifically
Oh yeah.
because of just being you and being comfortable enough to walk in and be you and who you are. So, you around here dropping nuggets just casually in conversation, but I just wanted to point that out. That yeah, stage presence is important. It's also unique. It also helps to find your particular tribe and your audience, and it can't be duplicated. And that's where your power is. And of course, that's why he was so big, because he was him. Nobody else could do that. Now people, pull from him, just like so many people pull from Michael. And you can do that. You should be a student of the greats before you. Beyonce is clearly a student of the greats before her. Same thing can be said about, an Usher and so many. But she also is Beyonce. She isn't Donna Summer. She isn't Diana Ross. She isn't Tina Turner. But we see reflections of them in her. But we
Hmm.
recognize Beyonce for who Beyonce is, and so much of who Beyonce is a fractal of those women who have had to exist first, and Tina knows, who have had to exist first for her to exist in the precise way that she does. So yeah, you around here dropping nuggets. I just wanted to co-sign real quick.
Absolutely. And to any Black artist who's out here right now, for any one of us young Black up and coming artists who've been
Mhm.
in the game, who want to do Broadway theater like Eric here, or music, or host a platform, now is the time to amplify your voice. Never let them silence or take your voice or your creativity or dim your light. And shout outs to my brother K Tooks as well, too, who's always encouraged me along the way. And K Tooks is the reason why I have my interviews. I remember my first page got hacked. I had over 3K followers, and I had to start all over. I was devastated. And I remember crying on the phone with K Tukes, crying to my mom because I lost everything. And shout outs to one of my colleagues, Conscious TV. I told Conscious what happened, and Conscious, like, girl, that's a year's worth catalog of interviews that you've done. And I remember losing them all. And my brother K Tukes surprised me, and he got the links to some of those interviews. I can't get into the gist of all of that,
Mhm.
but he helped me retrieve my work. And he was like, no, 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 you're not going to do this. You're not going to just let that go to waste. And he helped me retrieve those interviews. He just kept shooting me links. I'm like, how did you get this, brother? And it was the same night on the phone. He helped me get everything. The person took my page, everything, and I had to start over. So thank the Lord, I'm up to a decent amount of followers here. And that's because of all of the hard work that I put in. And no, it's not bought and paid for, because I noticed that people
Yeah,
will buy,
no, it's
pay for
organic.
followers. And I think I gained the followers based off of my personality. People will watch the interview, new faces will watch the interview, and it's like, oh, we're gonna give her a follow, and I appreciate it, and I do follow back. And it's not all about that for me. For me, it is about knowing that my message and my impact of what I'm doing with Style by Stevie is out there and that it resonates with people because I have something different that people have never seen before. I'm not a face that people would see every day. They see Tamron, they see Jennifer, they see Sherry, they see Kelly, they see Drew, but not a Miss Stevie because I'm not in mainstream. They're in mainstream. They're bigger than I am. And I'm climbing up there, reaching up there. I could be on that level, but I choose not to be. If I do anything, I'm like T.S. Madison. It's got to be black. My whole team, staff, production, everything has to be black,
Black
and
like
that's
that.
my DNA. Yes.
Yeah.
And
T.S.
someone said
Madison.
it best. Go ahead, Eric. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead. I just wanted to sing T.S. Madison's praises real quick. I love T.S. Madison.
I love
Um,
her.
and like she said, you need to, well, I forget what you said, but take up space basically in the room. Um, and that's huge. And it's it seems like of course you do, of course you should. Like you shouldn't have to think about it, but I have found personally that I have had a natural tendency to, I guess it's called imposter syndrome, where I'm like, you know what, even a little bit right now. Like, how did I get here? When are they gonna realize that I don't belong here? Like, oh, they're singing my praises and that's great, but don't look too close. Um, so that's huge, just to be comfortable. And you know what? You don't have to be comfortable because discomfort you can will help you to grow sometimes. But yeah, to just do that thing and be you and take up space. I also have to say about T.S. Madison, I don't know what she be wearing, but she smells delicious. I've had a chance to meet her twice because up until this past June, I was an administrative assistant for the health department in HIV prevention, and so I've been to several conferences and things where she will speak. And she cares about her community. She cares about us for real because she don't have to do that. I'm sure it's not the biggest checks she's getting to come and talk at a conference. Um, but yeah, she smells great and her skin is buttery soft and she's even more hilarious in person and she does what she has told you to do and what she has said in that interview, and that's to take up space. When T.S. Madison is in the room and you want to know more, you want to get closer. And that's because she's in her lane. She's who she is. And she knows that that's where her power is. And she knows that that's how she will attract, um, you know, her audience. Yeah, they got T.S. Madison.
And
Hilarious
I've
in person.
never had the pleasure of interviewing her. I would love to, but I've had Craig on the show and I've had Chi Chi. And the stories that I've heard from both of them about her, the same thing you're saying and confirming, she's a sweetheart. She does care about her community and she gives back. And one thing I can say about Madison that I admire about her is that she is unapologetically, authentically herself. And she's
Yeah.
advocating for every space and telling people like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, even within our community, like you can't exclude these group of people too. These people are human as well too. I'm black too,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't be erased. My presence is going to be here. And that's one thing that I admire about her. It's like she just said what you said, which is, I'm going to take up space. And also, one thing she said is, you're not going to silence me. You're not going to cancel me. So continue to speak out and use your craft, use your creativity. Again, Nina Simone said it best. The job of the artist is to reflect the times. So if you got something that you want to say, put it in music, put it in film, put it in a book, put it in any type of artistry that you can use to make sure that your voice is out there to the masses. because
Yeah.
where we're going right now, we're seeing the erasure, the eradicating us. And we have to make sure that us as Black creatives, that our voices are being heard in every one of these rooms. So never let them silence you or mute you.
Can never be erased. Um, and yeah, there are definitely some big efforts to do that. And this is not the first time that's happened. But she was right. You can't silence her. You can't erase her. And she is gonna be here. And even after she's here, elements and pieces of her will be here, will be reflected in you, will be reflected in the people that she touched, will be, a continuum of that same fractal pieces. And just so much of what popular culture is and has been forever is derived from us, from like we are the culture. And that doesn't
Mhm.
mean we Eric Andrews, but just overall we are the culture. And then there are those that rise to a level where they have a following, like you and people on like a T.S. Madison level, where where our DNA is in the culture. Our DNA is in the people and not just physically DNA, but like who I am and who she is and who Tina Turner is and who Donna Summer
Oh
is
yeah,
in the DNA of the people. So you might forget a name, but you can never erase the impact um, of these people. But yeah, concerted efforts to do so at this current moment for sure.
absolutely. Our lineage and our history will be here. Our work will be here, and for decades on, and people will go back and watch and review and enjoy the same way they're doing now, as if we
And
have
be
put their
inspired.
life into these projects and be inspired.
Carry the
Exactly.
torch.
Carry
Yeah.
that torch and pass it on to the next generation. Like I said, Madison came before me. Madison, Laverne, I can remember Laverne Cox's Time magazine cover. Like that was
Mhm.
iconic. This was Orange, Orange and the New Black was out, and she was making a name for herself. She did it.
Mhm.
That's what I saw. And then here I am years later. I came a little later, but these women carved out a path so that I can
Yeah.
be here, that I can exist and host this platform. And people are becoming familiar with me each and every day from me doing this consecutively. And more and more, and quite that's and rightfully so. Rightfully so, I must say, because what I'm doing is also bringing awareness. It's educating the same way Madison is doing with hers. And she uses the tools and she gets in these spaces and she makes sure no corner is left unturned. As for myself, for me, I try to include everybody, like white, black, straight, any, I don't care. As long as you have love and an open heart, you're welcome here. Now the hatred, that can stay out. I don't welcome that
Mhm.
here in my space, because the dollhouse is a space. Because I know everybody's like, why do you call it the dollhouse? Let me get to that. And why do I call people fashion dolls? Because you are. Yeah, of course, Style by Stevie is about fashion, but we get into other things as well too here. And I call it the dollhouse because when you come into my sacred space, into my arena, when you come into my home, and I'm inviting you in, I'm dressing you with love. Not
Mm.
just clothes, of course. Of course, you come in stylish, dressed to the nines, whatever you want to put on. But I'm dressing you with love. I'm dressing you with open arms, saying, hey, come on in. This is a safe space. Come on in. Let's have a conversation. We can get a cup of coffee. Now, my brother K Took's his platform, and I'm going to make the comparison between the two. His is a
That's the
little
same
bit,
thing grandma put in the food. That same
yes.
color. It's a necessary ingredient.
Oh, yeah.
And
And
you're
make
not
sure
afraid of
you
the work either.
back for more.
You've been here doing the work. You're not hung up on being an overnight super whatever success. You are doing the work, and you've got the interviews to prove it. And your the way you're showing up right now says to me that that is the point. The point is the work. The point is not some type of payoff. So. Yeah, you'd be all right. But you were making a comparison.
Yes, to my brother K Tooks. His platform is more so because he named, I can remember him saying that his was inspired off of, if you watch the show Girlfriends, Joan had a restaurant,
Mhm.
and I think it was the J spot, the K Tooks spot was based off of that.
Okay.
So when you go into his space, it's more so like if you go into a bar or a restaurant, you're getting that warm, welcome feeling. And that's what my brother does. And the interviews that he does are so authentic, so real. For me as well too. I lost my thought. I'm sorry, y'all.
It's all right.
For me, in my platform, I try to welcome you as if you would you like champagne, would you like wine, a glass of tea, a glass of coffee, and you're sitting in my glam room or in my closet, and we're conversating, conversing, and having fun. And not only just that, but the welcoming energy that I give you, or K Tooks, or Bubs the God, my colleagues, Conscious TV, any one of them that are doing interviews, any one of us, we give you a feeling where it is more so, hey, you're in a safe space. You're reassured, you're affirmed here. And the audience will start sharing, which is what I said earlier, that connection. The audience will start sharing pieces of themselves. And you, as the host, you chime in and you share your 2 cents from your personal experience of life as well, too. And I think that is what draws people in and resonates with people, because I've had people just come in and glimpse and leave, and then they will go back and watch the interview, and then
Yeah.
they'll DM me, oh well, we I had that happen before, because I did a panel not too long ago on my colleague, shout outs to my colleague Alvin, tit for tat, this and that. And one of my great supporters, she recorded the panel. She was like, you're spot on. And we were having a conversation. And that's what it's about, being able to resonate with people, and people be like, okay, boom, we got where she's coming from. We got where that individual is coming from. And it resonates with them in some sort of way. And it's authentic. And I try to be as authentic as possible and make it original with people, because people want authenticity. They want
Yeah.
something different. They want something tangible. They want someone who is going to give the truth unapologetically, someone who is going to bring fun and joy, especially in the darkness that we're all facing now. We need someone who's going to be the joy. And I give you joy in my way. My brother K Tooks will give you joy in his way, like he just did Mariah Carey review, and he did an interview with Taj from SWV. SWV is one of my favorite girl groups, by the way. And that interview that he did with Taj, because he knows her personally, he was nervous, and I told him I'm putting my brother all on blast. But
Yeah.
he says to stop nervous. I said, just be yourself. But see, I think he called me. I don't think we knew each other before the Vanessa Williams interview, but we met when I did my interview with Dawn Robinson from In Vogue. That's how we met. And he started mentoring me and giving me all of this advice. And people again thought it was some sort of rift between us. No, not at all. We have mad love. Like, he will call me, he will text me and say, sis, you're exaggerating, you're tripping, you did good. Because sometimes we are our own worst critics.
Oh yeah. Quite
And I
often.
would beat stuff up very bad. And he would be like, sis, come on, girl. You're tripping. You did good. And even one of my girlfriends, shout outs to my girlfriend Felicia, she will tell me the same thing as well too.
Hi,
That's
Felicia.
she's like my sister. And she, yes, I'm a text her at the end of this live. She texts me every day before I go out, right after my morning exercise. And she'd be like, hey girl, how you doing? Hey sis, how you doing? And I would talk to her about certain things, because I would go back and watch my interviews. I remember at one point I couldn't even go back and watch my interviews at all
Hmm.
without critiquing myself harshly. And people be
Yeah.
like, stop that. You're beating yourself up. It's a habit. When you are a perfectionist, like a
Hmm.
Beyonce, like a Prince, like a Michael Jackson, like a Janet Jackson,
You really can steal
you
your own
study
joy.
these people. Yes. You critique yourself harshly, like, come on now. You want everything to be perfect, the lighting, the sequence. You want to be able to speak and pronounce words perfectly. You want everything to be beautiful. You are a consummate perfectionist, and that I am. Like, I'm not gonna do it if it's not right. If it's not right, then I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah.
So we've seen Michael Jackson behind the scenes, and if you watch Beyonce's, I'm a big Queen Bee fan. If you watch Beyonce's documentary that she did when she released the album Four, Life is But a Dream, and it
Hmm.
came on HBO. It documented the pregnancy and everything. Uh, in that documentary, you would go back and watch her behind the scenes doing choreography for the music videos the day before the music videos. And Beyonce is like, nope, nope. If you watch the other documentary that she did for Renaissance, which T.S. Madison is also in, you would see her behind the scenes choreographing, training hard for this Renaissance tour to give us the masterpiece that the world has witnessed before their very eyes.
Yeah.
And millions of people all over want stadiums, not an empty seat in the stadium. Every seat filled to see Beyonce.
And those moments are part of what also what first made me feel like um, this is a real person, this is a human being, and I kind of know you now. I remember, and I think it maybe was the But a Dream, but when I started seeing those, kind of candid moments of her not glammed up, not on the stage, but like working out her set and working out, this look or working out an arrangement of a song really helped me to feel like, okay, this is I feel you. I know you a bit, or I know at you, or I know like you. Um, so yeah, and now we know her work ethic, right? So now her work ethic is one of the things people bring up about her now. When you talk about Beyonce, you have to talk about that work ethic, because she doesn't give it to us all the time, and she gives it to us. Well, not her work ethic. She gives that to us all the time, but she doesn't give us those kind of behind the scene moments all the time. She does that on her own terms. She's not sitting for every interview everybody wants, or even most of the interview people wants. She has kind of protected that space
Absolutely.
for herself to be like, I'm going to talk
Yeah.
through my music, through my performance, through my documentary, in a safe, secure setting that Beyonce am comfortable with. Um, so when we do get to see that, it's just like a glimpse into the human behind the superstar, and the work and the thought process and the frame of mind it takes to be that and to get there and to sustain being there over because she's had a career. She's still out there, but the lady has been, I, you know, she's been out there. I've been,
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know, goodness, it's been years, decades. Um, and she looks amazing and is amazing. So yeah, it's important. Good.
Absolutely, and that's the key to longevity as well, to keep going. Being able to
Hmm.
take that constructive criticism and back to what you said, to piggyback off of what you just said, which is that bubble, that space where she's protected. Yes, well, you said she don't really do interviews like that. She's telling her story through the music or either through her documentary. And there are so many artists who are like that, who are candid and who will share bits and pieces of themselves. Like I said, Mariah Carey, who just dropped a new album. I think this is her first album of 7 years because she's got a catalog, a discography of albums. One of my favorites is the Butterfly album, and then the Charm
Mm,
Bracelet, of course.
yeah.
But the new album is titled "Here for It All." The title track is absolutely beautiful. I was listening to it before, while I was getting my hair and makeup done, for coming on with Eric. And I watched my brother K Tukes. He just did dropped a review for it. But Mariah Carey is very candid as well too, and she's guarded. And as an artist, there's that thing called parasocial relationships, where you share certain bits and pieces of yourself with the audience, with your fans, that you want them to know about a bad relationship, about anything. It could be whatever it is, but you're being vulnerable and you're sharing these pieces of yourself with the world. That's what makes you human, because there are people who have probably suffered from, a bad relationship, a bad breakup, or anything. We have all been through some bad breakup, but the job of artistry, of artists, is to reflect what people are feeling, to
Hmm.
reflect the times.
Yeah.
And Mariah Carey, Beyonce, Janet, Michael, Prince, we could go on and on. I'm a big Coco Jones fan. I love Coco.
Me too.
They give us music that makes you think, that makes you want to fall in love, that makes you want to fall out of love, that makes you want to move on. All of these different emotions, they're human, and that's valid. And that's what I think resonates. That's why these artists relate to us in some sort of way. Even I'm a big Doja Cat fan. I love Doja Cat. Uh, what I love about Doja is that she separates herself. Sometimes when you feel like the audience are sometimes attacking you and or you overwhelmed, you somewhat like give me some space. I need to breathe. That's parasocial relationships where you have to be able to kind of just distance yourself for a little bit. I love my fans, but I'm also not going to let that boundary be crossed. And that's that bubble that you said when it pertains to Beyonce. That bubble, being able to have that bubble up where you can be in your space and your creativity and in your lane. And there are so many artists out here who are like that, who will share bits and pieces of themselves and be candid. But they don't really do interviews like that. They'll keep it to themselves. They'll put it in the music, and we consume the music, and the music is 9 times out of 10 good. The Lemonade album, good. We knew all of those different things. Becky with the good hair, all of that, we knew exactly what she was referring to as it pertains to Mariah Carey. I remember in one of her interviews, she said, "Yes, I am a lamb for life. I have a lot of Mariah Carey's fragrances, and I wear them faithfully." Um, I can remember her saying when she was promoting Caution, one of the songs, because they went through like a timeline of why the song was written, it was The Roof. And she said,
Mm.
because she wrote a book as well too. Mariah Carey wrote a book about her life, and it is out there. So y'all make sure y'all go and check that out. And she said, "I'm writing a book. I'm writing, bits and pieces of me." So you get a little bit through their books as well as through the artistry. So again, you see how artists have ways of getting the message to people because we've all had those relationships where it's just like, what is it about this person? What is it about this person that draws me in, that makes this person make me head over heels, fall for them like I'm in love? Like,
Yeah.
what is it? And they put it in the music. And we, as the consumers, we can relate to it in some sort of way. You have a crush on somebody or you're in love with somebody and you don't know how to get it out to them. But the song can help you kind of get that confidence to go and be able to tell this person how you feel. And it can either go one or two ways. You can be rejected or they can accept it.
Yeah.
And it's all about sitting down and having a conversation. And that's what music and literature is all about, sitting down and having those conversations with people. Go ahead, Eric. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I think that this harkens back to themes that we've been talking about, like Beyonce creating that bubble. That's back to letting that inner child know that this you're safe right now. You can be you. This is just an extension of that. But it's also an extension of kind of the mystery of a prince. Like we don't hear something from Beyonce every single day about what she ate that morning. We don't know what fragrances Mariah or candles she lit in the bathtub last night, but we know she was in there. We know she had some wine. And it goes back to staying in that lane. That's how those artists feel comfortable. That's what worked for them. Whereas there's like Miss Patty. Miss Patty will definitely do an interview, and you're going to cackle for half of it. She's great at talking. She loves to have that. She's a ham for it, and I love to be there. I've seen her, I think, twice, and that's her power because that's who she is. And she doesn't need to have so much of this mystery because she's different than these artists, and her equation is different, and her audience, a lot of overlap, but it's different, and bigger in most cases because it's Patti LaBelle. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
she'll
I
throw it
wanted
at
to say that
you
this just
and she's
all
going to
ties
pass
in.
around at you. all of that.
Yeah, oh yeah. She's hilarious.
And that's what it's about. Parasocial relationships, being able to not cross those boundaries. And
Mhm.
not only just that, but being able to connect with your fans, to be able to connect with us and share that. And I'm so honored that I've had the honor of sitting down, as well as my brother K2, because I'm pretty sure that he is elated with joy. We both are, to be able to sit with these artists and find out, what are you thinking in this moment, not
Mhm.
only as fans of their work, but we're also human together. And we want people to see that about us, is that our workmanship, our craftsmanship as well too, and the fact that we're capable of holding these conversations with them and to showcase them in a human light, because we see them as these big stars, but we have to remember they're also people too, and they have lives, and they have, just like we all go through things, they go through things as well too. And that's what we showcase on our platforms, is that humanity aspect. And that's where that also ties into parasocial relationships. So, okay, speaking to getting to know you and getting to know all about you, it is about that time, Fashion Dolls. My heart is pounding through this motorcycle dress that I'm wearing today. Y'all have seen it. Um, whew, I'm about to give Eric the microphone. It is the Eric Andrews show. It's no longer Style by Stevie. Eric is going to get the opportunity to ask me some questions. For my new viewers out there, you'll get to know a little bit about me through Eric's questioning. All right. So I'm going to pass it on down to Eric here. Take it away.
Well, thank you. First of all, I just want to say um, that I'm super flattered to be here and just really honored um, that you even had an interest. But let's see. Um, you mentioned earlier your morning workouts, like sis calls you or
Yeah.
texts you after your morning workouts. I've been, it don't look like it, but I've been working out too, and I found that it's really a way for me to get energized for the day. But even if I do it later in the day, it's a way for me to kind of shake the day off. Um, and I like to jog. I mean, I do other things because I want a certain physique, but the jogging I enjoy. So, what is your workout? What does your morning workout look like? And what's your favorite part of it?
Oh, the sweating, of course. I do
Yeah.
30 minutes. I walk and then I do jogging. I run and I see myself trimming down. So it's
Hmm.
therapeutic. And what I do
Yes.
during my workout is sometimes I would listen to affirmations.
Me
I'm a big
too.
Maya Angelou. I'm an avid reader. I love Maya Angelou, and I would listen to her. If not Maya Angelou, then Toni Morrison or Kamala Harris, and just watch their motivational speeches. And that's what gives me that fuel to keep going. But mainly Maya Angelou. She was talking about virtue. It's a clip. Y'all can go and type it in, punch it in on down in YouTube. And she was giving this interview. And then she gave a speech at a graduation as well, too, about, come on, grandma, come on, we got to help this person out. It was about helping people. And then she said something also about virtue. And that has stuck with me since then. And every time I do it, because I listen to music as well too. But the best part
Hmm.
about exercising in the morning is because I get up every day 7 a.m. and I do it 7 a.m. to 7:30, and it has been a ritual for me. Before I
Hmm.
can remember my knees being on fire, that was one of my captions in the outfit of the day, was that my knees were on fire. And y'all have witnessed that, and you just, how are you on here doing the show? Lots of icy hot. But
Look.
now I'm good. I don't have to worry about it. But the feeling after working out, the sweating, it's like you release everything that you're feeling. And I would recommend everybody to get up 30 minutes every day and exercise, because we need it, especially in these times. We need to be able to stay healthy and able to move around, because we need to form community. We need to make sure that we're looking out for each and every one of each other's communities overall. So that's the best part about. And then afterwards, I get to treat myself with yogurt. So
Mm.
that's the fun.
So I keep the icy hot spray. People be thinking I'm younger than I am, but I am a man of a certain age. So I keep that. I keep that, and I like to, I'll have a soak, an Epsom soak in my tub. So I keep like the Epsom salts with like elderberry and lavender and relaxing things. I have another question for you. Where's Miss Stevie from? And how did you know that this was something that you wanted to do? And when?
Ooh. Um, I'm gonna take the first one. Where am I from? South Carolina. I'm from South Carolina, little town called Bamberg, South Carolina, and the majority of my family is in New York. I have family in New York on my dad's side, but my mom's side of the family is down here in South Carolina. And it's something about that Southern hospitality. Like a lot of people just can't put their finger on it. And I think that also draws people in as well too, because they're like, little old Bamberg, South Carolina. And they're like, we've never heard of it. We've heard of Myrtle Beach, we've heard of Charleston, we've heard of Florence, but we've never heard of little old Bamberg. Yes, Bamberg. Bamberg, South Carolina is where I'm from. And born and raised, proud of it. Now, how did I want to become a talk show host? At a very young age, I can remember myself in the doctor's office with my grandmother, and I picked up one of the magazines. I think it was, what was it? Ebony Jet, one of them. And I all I can remember was Tony Braxton was on the cover. And I told my grandma, I tapped my grandma because I was in there with her for a doctor's appointment. And I said, Grandma, look, it's Tony Braxton. I would have been like, what, 8 or 5 years old. And my grandmother just looked at me like, this baby can read. I remember I was reading the yellow pages. Reading can start you off with pronunciation, pronouncing words correctly. See, I messed up there. Pronouncing words correctly. Not only just that, but reading a teleprompter, being able to read the articles because you dive into headlines and discussions, making sure that you have your facts and stacks correct, making sure that you're delivering the truth to people and not giving them disinformation and misinformation. So that is what helped me. And then in high school, taking public speaking. Fast forward,
Mm,
here I am reciting the words of Shakespeare, A Midsummer Night's Dream. And we all had to do it in front of the class. We were all nervous, and we're just like, why are you nervous? We see each other every day in passing. So I got up in front of the class and did it. It was a walk in the park. Put them in the ring with me. They can't beat me. And I think I got like a 90 on it for reciting the words to Shakespeare, William Shakespeare. And I love it. The language is different than how we talk because
hmm
of how it's written,
Yeah,
Shakespeare. So if you've done Othello, if you've done Hamlet, if you've done all of that, you know what a summer night's dream brings, as it pertains to their writing and the language. How I'm talking right now, and then when you're looking down and you're reading it, it's very awkward. It's very funny, but we had to say it word for word. Yep.
yeah. That's an exercise. And I remember I was introduced to A Midsummer Night's Dream by the movie because it was
Mm,
starring one of my favorite actresses to this day, Michelle Pfeiffer.
love her.
And yeah, this Shakespeare's no joke. But that's something to have in your back pocket, though.
And
That's
it
something
shot
that's going to
to
help
my
you
teacher.
navigate language, just period. You can do that. You're good. Um, let's see. How is, this is your question. How is your 2025 going? And what would be something encouraging you would say to your viewers who are in such a time as this?
Ooh, how's my 2025? I would say to piggyback off of what you said, which is an emotional roller coaster, the
Mhm.
ups and downs, the highs and lows. When I came in banging with the swing. And we're now seeing the current state of the world and the way things are going, and it takes a toll on you. But I always try to have some sort of hope, light, optimism, and humor to get me through the craziness, to get us all through the craziness. Someone has to be on the front lines giving people an escape. And I try to do that in my platform as well too. And not only just that, but I also get into the real of what's really going on and educate and bring awareness. And what would I say to people as far as being in the darkness that we're all experiencing? I would say the darkness doesn't last forever. Hang in there. Hang in there. You have so much, because I know a lot of people have those dark, evil thoughts of wanting to not be here, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. No.
Yep, I sure
And what
do.
I would say to people, we have to be the light to each other. The light is inside you. And I can remember, because Kamala's doing a lot of press for her book. Make sure y'all go and get it 107 days. She said this to Scott Evans in the interview she did with him yesterday. And she said, we all have to be that light. So I watched clips of her giving these amazing speeches. I watched Maya Angelou as well too. She has a quote that goes like this about not allowing anyone to dim your light. So stay happy. Laugh at the foolishness and how this man is messing everything up. But I want you all to remain hopeful and know that there is something coming. It's something coming. A great atmospheric shift is coming.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be for the good. That's all I'm
Yeah.
going to say on that. And not only just that great atmospheric shift, but keep using your creativity. Pre- Keep using your craft, if that makes sense. I couldn't get it out.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, but use your artistry to tell your story, how you're feeling. Because when 2025 started, I've seen on TikTok, by the way, delete TikTok if you know, you know, um,
Never had one.
gratitude journals. I've seen a lot of people say, I've got a gratitude journal. Create vision boards. Think what you want to do for 2026, because we only got a few more uh, months in this year. And then before you know it, 2026 will be here. So plan ahead. Plan ahead on what you want to do. Plan your life story. And I think with people doing vision boards, crafting, creating, when you're doing something, it takes your mind off of the craziness. Like my mama that had me outside, and I always eat because I set myself on a schedule. You know, I'm bougie like that a little bit. And I always try to eat at 11 o'clock and then try to get ready for the show, prepare, get my questions and everything together, set up. She had me outside watering plants today with her. It rained down here, but it wasn't enough rain to water the plants. So do something therapeutic. I wasn't really an outdoorsy type person, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, my mother had me outside, and that right there, being able, those little things you cherish. And I would say cherish those little things. Find things to do to take your mind off of the craziness. And if you
Yeah.
need to mentally unplug, unplug. I get it. It
Yeah.
can be overwhelming. And even as the host of this platform for anybody, I'm always giving people updates on what's going on. But still, I have to learn to put the phone down and not engage at all. So
Yeah.
I would say
That's
that to
huge.
anybody. Remain hopeful. Use your voice. Form your tribe, because you're going to need your tribe more than ever. Fortify and amplify your voices. That's what I would also say. But don't worry, because the atmospheric shift is coming. They're afraid of us becoming the majority, and that we are. It's way more of us than them. Use your creativity, use your knowledge, and never let anybody silence you, or your voice, or your craft, or your creativity. That's what I would say.
Yeah. Strong words to live by and to apply right now. Yeah.
Because I know a lot of us are feeling moments of despair, moments of
Mm,
hopefulness, if that makes
hopefully.
sense.
Yeah.
Moments where it's just like, are we going to be okay? You're going to be fine. If you woke up this morning and you can wake up the next day after, you're going to be fine. You're going to be all right. I always ask my mom, I always give my mom a hug and ask her how she's feeling, because she's been sick lately. And I've been really having to be like Nurse Stevie on call 24/7, or Dr. Quinn, the medicine woman, making sure that she has everything that she needs, that she'll be
Not
good.
telling our age. But
And
yes,
it's a balance. It is definitely a balance, making sure that family and tribes are good around you. So that's what I would say. Form your community, form your tribe, and most importantly, keep in touch. Don't be afraid to reach out to somebody, family member, a good friend, whomever. Like I said, K Tukes will text me. K Tukes will call me. Hey, sister, how you doing? And if he doesn't even see me live because I do this show Monday through Friday, 5 days a week, and if he doesn't see me on, he will give me a call or a text and let people, like, hey sis, how you doing? Everything all right? How's mom? So do that. Reach out to
yeah,
your loved ones. Love on them.
yeah,
Talk to them and
yeah.
appreciate them as well. So that's what I would say.
Well, you've been a pleasure. Thanks for allowing me for me to interview you on our show today. And thanks for your words of encouragement.
You are so welcome. Absolutely. And I would love to bring you back to the dollhouse before we wrap. Now, the same question for you. Uh, any upcoming projects coming up, and what advice would you give to people who are feeling those feelings like of despair, of emptiness, of loneliness, of heartache, of pain, of anything? What advice would you give them?
I'm gonna start with that because I've been feeling all of these things. And like I said, for me, it's been my walks, my runs. Um, those are kind of my meditative times
Yeah, got you.
to really unplug from whatever I have to do, whatever I've already done that day, and just be out in nature and in my body and seeing the beauty around me and unplugging. Uh, and so I guess what would I say? I think you have to find what that is for you. What is that meditative moment or meditative process for you? Because for me, it's the runs, it's my Epsom soaks with my candle and my either affirmations or vibrations playing in the background.
Yeah,
Um, find what that is for you because it'll be different, just like your stage presence, just like your swag. It'll be different for you. But if you don't know what that is, take the time now to find that out. And you have to be intentional about that. You may not just stumble upon it if you haven't already. So really do some kind of soul searching and find what that is for you and pay attention to how you feel before and after said act. Find the thing that's most effective and rock with it. Uh, and what was the other question? I'm missing something. Uh,
final project, any upcoming
yes.
projects?
Oh, so I don't. Okay, so I also work as a brand ambassador. I've done this for almost 10 years now, since 2016. I've always done it in the background of my other jobs when I was managing retail. I left Hugo Boss back in 2016. Even while I was at the health department as an administrative assistant, I've always done brand ambassador gigs and experiential marketing in the background. And that actually has plugged me into a lot of actors because a lot of actors do work like this because it pays well, but it's flexible. You have contracts that you work. You can build your schedule the way you want. Um, so it allows me to still be plugged into the community of creators, and it allows me to be able to do something new and fresh every time I go in. So I don't have any acting projects coming up because I've since I've left the health department. I've been focused more on really beefing up my schedule in experiential marketing. So I've got more of that on the horizon. I'm booked through through October now. Um, and I still do. I am on what is it, backstage. So I think I probably will wind up in some more like background roles just for fun fun and just to kind of be around it, not looking for, whatever the paycheck is from that, because it's never really about that for me with that, because the pay doesn't, but it's because of the people you meet and the relationships you build and just that community. So yeah, I've got more brand ambassador work coming up. Um, and you might see me in the background of something you're watching soon, um, because now I've kind of got more. My time is more flexible now that I'm not at my 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. So I'm really in an interesting space where I can kind of pivot and decide now how does the next 5 years uh, look different than what I've been doing, and
Yeah.
where do I want to go, and I guess maybe kind of work backwards to how to get there. But yeah, I'm in a space of freedom right now, and that's not freedom of money because I'm still getting that. We still need that, but just of how I'm going to go about um, earning more money in the future. And actually, right now, I'm going to meet with someone, a potential business partner. I won't talk about that yet. So right now, I'm heading there as soon as we're done here, um, because I also hmm, I want to say this without being too political. So I left the health department during a time when a lot of my responsibilities had been frozen and where funding was certainly suddenly uncertain. And again, I was working in HIV prevention. I was the chair of the LGBTQ um, committee. So my work was would be considered very DEI oriented, and a lot of the communities that I worked with would fit into those spaces. Okay, so I'll say that. Um, and funding and things had been tied up. So yeah, I'm in a space now where I want to diversify my forms of income. Create something residual, create something that doesn't require me to give my time for money because we only got so much time. So I'm in a space of freedom, and I'm in a space of educating myself and meeting with people who can advise me on how to do that. And
Yeah.
ultimately, what that will allow me to do is to now free up my time because I don't have to trade it all. Because I work. I'm talking like 19, 21 day stretches on a regular month. So to be able to free up that time so that I can get back into the things that I put more time and energy into, the things that I really love. And it's not that I don't care about this, but those other things, those creative things, who may not turn a profit for me the way brand ambassador and experiential marketing work does. So yeah, I'm in a kind of a pivotal moment here, and I'm embracing the freedom of choice that allows me and the opportunity to educate myself on how to move forward.
And if you need me, I'm here. As
Good to
we,
know.
like I said, we all have to be each other's lights. We all have to link arms more than ever and form community. And that's what we have to continue to keep doing. So I totally get it. I'm so sorry. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah.
But this is where the beauty of creativity is. And this
Hmm.
ties into today's final thought since Eric gave his.
Resilience.
Mine is, and it comes from Janine Yousef. She says this: with God, there is no cause for fear or anxiety. So
Mm.
I know a lot of people are in a time of uncertainty of what's going to happen with their jobs, with
Yeah.
anything. I want you all to be reassured that something greater is coming. Trust.
Yeah.
Because this dark circle, this dark cloud that we're all in right now, this dark period, it is something greater coming for each and every one of us.
Yeah.
So they might have gotten the last laugh, they might have gotten their way, they might have gotten all of these things, But guess what? We are the winners, and we
Mm-hmm.
will win, and we will persevere on, and so forth and so on, because there are people out here like myself who are on the front lines, and so many others who are speaking out, who are saying this is wrong, who are saying you're not going to take our voice to silence us or erase us. The beauty
Yeah.
of the diversity, equity, and inclusion is that it's not only just us, but it's them too.
Right.
That means everybody. So when you try to erase anything that you consider as different, or well, since I'm trans, they already trying to label me as a terrorist. So
Mm-hmm.
um, I laughed
Facility.
at it. I said, well, I guess I'm a
Because
terrorist
it's
now. I
silly.
guess I'm
Yeah.
out here stealing people's husbands and boyfriends. So I mean, hell, I'll take it. But no, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not a home wrecker, y'all. Not at all.
Now, one thing
But
we will do is flip
just a
something.
joke.
Yeah.
But anyway, uh, don't let them try to break you down or steal your joy or erase you or eradicate you. Like Madison said, let your presence be known in the room when you're
Mm-hmm.
going in. Let your presence be known in the room. Don't let them erase you. Don't let them silence you or dim your light. And my brother K2 said, if you need me to, Eric, I'm here. And he is a great person to talk to.
All right.
Trust.
Remember y'all
That's
said
that's
that.
brother.
Okay.
Yes, yes. We're in this
Thank you.
together.
I
We
appreciate it.
nobody, and I want all of y'all in my audience to know that we're in this together. I know a lot of people feel like I feel alone. I don't know. My DMs
Mm-hmm.
are always open. I don't know why people scared to come and talk to me. I'm a teddy bear. I'm a teddy bear. I'm a lovable person. So my DMs
Cheers.
are open. If y'all are feeling whatever feelings you're feeling, I'm here. We're in this together, and I'm going to keep reminding you of that.
Mhm.
And I'm also
Yeah.
going to keep encouraging you as well too, because somebody had to keep reminding me. My mother had to keep reminding me. You're not the only person feeling these things. We're all
Mhm.
in this boat together. So we have to look out and be each other's eyes, ears, and vessels. Because in order for that tree to grow, we have to be the limbs on the tree. And that is what keeps the tree connected, right? So remember that. I want you all to remember that, fashion dolls. And without further ado, I can't keep Eric because he's off to a meeting. But where can they follow you?
You can. So I don't have a TikTok. I'm old school, but I do have Facebook and Instagram. And you can follow my Facebook. It's at Eric Andrews. And you can follow me on Instagram if you'd like. That's my first name backwards, Cire, E_eternal, with an E. So it's CIRE_eternal E. Um, and yeah, I'm just as much of a teddy bear. I follow you back. And yeah, I'm easy to talk to.
Yes, yes, yes. So you have a village here. You have a tribe, and we're all supporting each other in here. And I want you all to keep up. And I'm going to bring you back for my 20th season. So I will shoot you those dates because I would love to have you back on in January of 2026. Yes, you guys already know that Style by Stevie is coming back. New fashions, new amazing guests, new topics, new everything. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Season 20 of Style by Stevie will be coming in January of 2026. And we've already got the guests lined up and everything. So y'all make sure that you're staying tuned when I drop that lineup and the new everything. So y'all just stay tuned. And joining me next week, we have Nicholas Barnes and we have Phil Elam. So y'all have a safe and fabulous weekend. Be intentional about being intentional. Be vigilant. Be aware. And in these times, in these dangerous, scary times, make sure that you are around community. Because, like I said, we have to be those branches on the tree. The branches is what keep that tree connected up. Those roots is what keep that tree connected. So we all have to be all of that and then some. And I want y'all to remember that. So I will see y'all next week, Fashion Dolls. It's my birthday month, October, and I'm super excited. I love y'all, and I will see y'all then. Till next time.